Should we just do Andiamo the entire theme song?
Andiamo! Come on. Now or never.
When are we going to get him on the pod?
He wants to come on.
Let's get him on. We had a vote. Look at Vulcan.
Do you like my hat?
Yeah. Who is that?
It's Cole.
Who's Cole?
You don't know who Cole is?
No.
They're an apparel brand.
You look like Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Like a cyclist.
Okay.
Wearing spandex under the table?
Am I wearing spandex? Yes.
Oh.
I'm shooting up too. Doing a lot of roids. Didn't he get in trouble for that?
Yeah.
Didn't he deny it initially?
Yeah. Denied it for years and years.
And then finally?
Yeah.
Did they catch him or did he come clean?
He got caught and then he came clean.
Gotcha.
He only has one testicle too.
That I think I heard.
He had like cancer or something.
Did you see pictures of it?
No, I'm just
All
heard.
right.
Just heard rumors.
Are you ready?
Yep, here we go.
Okay, welcome back everybody to another episode of King of the Court. We are your hosts, Tyler and Jimmy Miller.
We're in the house.
I feel like I say this a lot. This episode may be a little bit shorter, but I feel like when I say that, they tend to go longer. So we'll see how long this one goes. But a little bit quiet on the pickleball side. Mm-hmm. So not too much to talk about. But first, we got to give a big shout out to our title sponsor of this show. This show would not be possible without them. The Pickler. We love the Pickler. Jimmy, tell us about the Pickler. They just opened up a couple new locations.
Yeah, so the Pickler obviously is the premier indoor facility in the country. We talked about on the last pod, for those that missed it, they have a all-you unlimited
membership. That's what they are, yeah.
Essentially, so clinics, tournaments, all of that's included. But they also, for those of you, so there's a new location in Round Rock.
Okay.
There's one in Indianapolis and Noblesville. And that one, by the way, the grand opening.
Do you have to be noble to live in Noblesville?
I feel like you should.
Yeah.
But that grand opening is the 25th. So by the time this airs. And here's what's cool about that one. Drew Brees will be there.
He'll be there?
And he's doing a pro-am or with the Kawamotos.
Wow.
And
did you say Kawamotos?
No, I said Ka. They're not cows. And Matt Manasseh will be there.
Nice.
He's hosting.
They should have Odoth go out there too.
They should. They should put him in the ring. So that one's going to be like a massive grand opening, huge event. But here's the thing. If you're like, I don't know if I want to pay for the Pickler, the membership, you could actually try it. Unlimited membership for 30 days for $30.
Cool.
So if you haven't checked it out, it's worth it just to go kind of do that trial run. 30 days for $30. See if you're going to use it. See if it's going to get its money's worth. And if you do, sign up.
Also, you can use our code KOTC for a very small discount, but it is a discount.
Yeah.
So use that when signing up for memberships.
Yeah.
Also, if you're interested on the business side of things, not only playing, you can also check them out to be a franchise owner and open up your own location in a town near you. So go check them out at thepickler.com and tell them that the guys at KOTC sent you. Thank you, Pickler, for your support. Also, Pickleball Central is the #1 online retailer for all things pickleball paddles. Doesn't matter which brand, they have them all. Go check them out. They also have a incredible return policy. So if you're on the fence about a couple different paddles, order them all and then return the ones you don't like. Use code KOTC0125 for this month's discount code.
And there's a lot of new paddles coming out.
Yep.
The new Franklin's coming out. The new Carbon's coming out. There is a lot. So
these paddles are getting crazy. Very powerful.
Insanely powerful. Is it time to go to a softer ball?
Possibly, or a wood paddle. I don't know.
We'll talk about it. PPA did talk about doing a wood paddle tournament.
Yes, they did. Yep.
We'll have to talk about that.
Who would win that?
I feel like
all the OGs.
Yeah, I feel like the OGs that like are not driving and crashing the ones that are going to grind out points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Probably be like some senior pro that like used to play in
Mills Miller.
Yeah, used to play in Washington.
Yeah.
And they know how to serve with the tree in their backswing.
Is my hat legal to wear during play? Because it's green. It's neon.
The hat, I think, is fine unless you're playing against Ben. Then you won't see the ball coming.
What if the ball's coming right at my face and I like put my green hat right in front of it so they lose track of the ball?
Yeah.
Would that work?
Yeah. I mean, look,
Gamesmanship.
literally rocked an entire green outfit. Remember when Jeannie Bouchard wore the fluorescent green and someone asked her to change?
Yeah. What was it, like a tank top or?
I thought it was like a tank top. Yeah, and she had to put a jacket on.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it was like hot outside, and they made her put a jacket on.
Well, it was indoors, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think it was indoors.
I don't know.
All right.
It's a better story if it was hot.
Okay, moving on. So, as I said, not too much going on. APP. Do you know what APP stands for?
Association of Professional Pickleballers, but they changed it, I heard.
To what?
I think it's now just Association of Pickleball Players or something like that.
So not pro pickleball players?
Yeah, I think it's everybody now.
Anyways, they had the Fort tournament at their headquarters, their new headquarters.
Yeah.
They're not finished. The site is not finished 100%, but for the most part, it was done. So they were able to use. By the way,
it's just Association of Pickleball Players now.
Wow.
They're not pro anymore.
Gotcha.
They're all encompassing. It's MLK Day. So what better to all encompass everybody
exactly
than the Association of Pickleball Players?
Very thoughtful, APP. Congrats.
That felt sarcastic.
Never. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched as much as I could. I mean, here's the problem with the APP is they don't stream a lot, and they were streaming this one.
Well, they were streaming, but they had issues with weather.
Delays, they had to move inside. So a lot of stuff wasn't streamed. They actually had to change some of the scoring to like
1 game to 15.
1 game to 15. And they already do that for singles, where they do 2 out of 3 to 15 for singles.
Rally scoring.
Yeah. Which is crazy. But men's singles, our guy.
Your guy. Once a bear, always a bear.
My guy, one of my favorite people, Chris Hayworth, wins men's singles.
Yes.
And it was he hasn't lost. I know it was Babolat that posted it, but he hasn't lost the men's singles
in like 300 days or something like that. Yeah.
That's incredible.
What's actually incredible is he's doing this with rally scoring. So even though the competition might be a little bit lower, it's rally scoring, and anybody can rattle off a couple points. And so for him to do that, that's very impressive.
Yeah, don't you think does that increase the probability of an upset?
Oh, 100%.
Because it's rally to 15.
Exactly. I mean, this is the same discussions that I have with MLP scoring.
Yeah, but I think rally to 21 or rally to 25 is different than rally to 15.
Yeah. And it's singles too.
And it's singles. Yeah. So, I mean, congrats to Chris. I mean, listen, there's not a nicer dude out there. Mm-hmm. And I think that he is vastly underrated. I'd love to see him play singles on the PPA.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has.
He has, but I'd love to see him consistently play on the PPA. I think
where would you put him right now on the PPA side?
Ranking?
Yeah, where would you put him?
I would probably put him third.
Okay.
Top 5.
Yeah, top 5.
I'd put him top 5. I don't think that, I think obviously Fed is still 1, but I think that
even with the new Adidas paddle,
I think that he would be right there with, CG and Ben and those guys. I think he's that good.
Yeah, no,
and he's proven it. I mean,
he's a great player. Yeah,
and he's played PPA and he's done great. He does it with that Babolat. Speaking of power, generating power from what most people probably don't consider a power paddle.
Yeah.
The other thing is he's long, dude, and he's just a good mover.
Yeah, he's probably 6'3", 6.
Yeah, probably
6'3".
Yeah.
Tall
guy, good. I mean, so yeah, congrats to Chris. Like I said, nobody's nice. Did you know? And they came on our pod, Chris and Grayson. But Chris has never lost to Grayson.
How many times have they played?
I feel like they play every APP. It seems like.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good friends, but like that
awesome.
Sucks.
It does. Yeah, we all have that one person.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, good win for them, or for him. And then
your girl, Jilly B, making a splash.
Yeah, Jilly B and Megan Fudge. Look, I mean.
Best players, right?
I mean, I think that Megan Fudge, I got to say something about Megan Fudge, okay? I feel like Megan Fudge had a really bad reputation.
Okay.
For hooking,
why?
Hooking and just kind of antics on the court.
I don't know if she had a bad reputation.
I think she did. And I feel like she's almost like overcompensated, but this is a good thing. This is a compliment. Doesn't sound like one, but it is.
Okay.
And now she's become like insanely nice. Or maybe I just had her all wrong.
I think you have her a little bit wrong.
But like we played her in MLP, and look, we were down big, but there was a ball that like was questionable, and our guys were like, "Wait," and she was like, "No, you guys can have it," and just gave it to us. Now look, had it been close, I don't know if she'd have done that.
Yeah.
But she just seems like she is, as she gets
Trying to get in with Megan Fudge. I like it.
No, I just think that at this point in her career, she's like, I am who I am. I've proven myself. I've got nothing left to prove to anybody. And I'm just going to play pickleball.
Okay. Done.
So her and Jilly B, women's doubles, big win. They beat Allison Harris and Yana Newell. Mm-hmm. This is what sucks about this, dude. We will not see any of these people in PPA or MLP.
Mm-hmm. We won't see Megan Fudge?
No. She's not unsigned.
I thought she was.
No, unsigned.
How did you play it last time?
Last year, you could play unsigned.
Gotcha.
Last year, they were allowed to play unsigned. Unsigned players were allowed to play.
Gotcha.
The teams just had to pay $20,000.
Did you watch the mixed doubles finals?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that? So Megan was going against Jill, her partner.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think Will Howells is the best player in APP.
Okay.
Don't you?
Yeah, I mean, him, Jack Monroe, Eric Lang, and Max are all up there.
Yeah. I mean, Eric and Max are always going to do well, which, again, we're not going to see Eric, and at least as of right now, we're not going to see Eric and Max play MLP or PPA. We're not going to see Will and Jack. We're not going to see Luigi leave her niece. Doesn't he look just like Luigi?
Too soon.
No, he does.
Too soon.
I heard he got 100 texts the day that dude was arrested.
Surprised it's not more, to be honest.
Yeah, because he looks like his freaking twin.
Yeah.
We're not going to see any of those guys. And I think that, I mean, and what sucks too is we probably won't see Hayworth or Grayson again. Mm-hmm. Because,
for now.
For now, but while we're talking about this, but yeah, I mean, Jilly B is Jilly B. She's always going to have her antics, but she's a really good APP level player.
What was interesting to me is I watched some of it, the mixed doubles, and Jilly B, I mean, she's very animated. She's very dramatic, emotional.
Loves to hit the ground.
She was like screaming at the other person across the net, which was her partner.
Megan, yeah.
Which is a bit interesting. I mean, if you're not playing with them, I can understand doing that. But when it's the person you're playing with, that seems a little bit weird to me. Maybe she can just leave it on the court.
That's what I'm saying. There's people that I think can and can't, but I also think that like, I don't know, dude. She is like very up and down, very hot and cold, right? Like when she was on center at Masters, everybody like tuned in, like here we go, and she didn't say a word.
Yeah,
there wasn't an ounce of antics from her.
Yeah,
she took her beating and went home.
Yeah.
Where like at APP, maybe she's just more comfortable and she knows she knows that her alpha antics can help her, and so she plays up that role just like she does in MLP.
Yeah,
but against like Annalie and Catherine or whoever, was that who she played? I think that's who they played.
No, it was Pisnik and
Pisnik and Kate. That's right. Against them, she probably felt like they didn't have a chance and it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just interesting, and that's, I mean. We talk about players. We talk about Hayden. We talk about these players that like Brandon French, great example, who play better when they're kind of fired up and chirping. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's Jill.
Yeah. I
mean, Frenchie and Jill are friends, and they actually were, when we played them in MLP, those two were going at it.
That was weird. The whole exchanges between them, all of them were just weird.
But then afterwards, they were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's just people that are like that. Me, I kind of tend to hold a little bit more of a grudge. Like, I'll be like, like it's kind of a dick thing to say, but yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Sophia Seward, is that it?
I think is it sewing or suing?
I botched
sewing?
it.
It's spelled like sewing.
Okay.
SCWING.
Okay. I wrote it down wrong.
Zane thinks she's going to be great. She played with Colin Johns.
Okay. I
guess she's a pretty high level tennis player. She has played some PPAs, hasn't had a lot of success, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, if you watch her play, her strokes are great. Mm-hmm. She looks really good. Mm-hmm. But again, how will that translate? How serious does she take it? How hard is she working? Nobody, I don't know. I don't know her. Okay. So we'll see. I mean, that could be someone to keep an eye on.
What's the future of APP?
I think this is exactly what it is.
You still have a lot of players. They had qualifying to get into their main draw.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of teams.
Well, the problem is the barrier of entry right now to PPA is hard. And with PPA, and this is probably a good segue into this. PPA released what I have dubbed the Vivian Glozman rule. So Vivian Glozman had to play qualies.
At the last tournament,
Masters. She had to play with her and Jackie played qualies, and her and Riley both played qualies. And basically, PPA has this rule that if you're an unsigned player, you do not automatically get into the main draw. You have to play qualies. Well, after watching Glozman have to, like, their first round match, Glozman and Jackie end up playing Alex Trong and Millie. Probably not fair to Alex and Millie.
Yeah.
Probably not fair to anybody they played in qualies. Their second round match was it Cali and Paris?
Yes. Yeah.
Which again isn't probably fair to those guys. PPA changed the rule. And so I've dubbed this the GlozDawg Rule.
Okay.
And what it says is if you're, and this is how I've interpreted it. I haven't seen the actual contract they're talking about, but essentially what it says is if you're in the top 50 players in the world, so top 50 in men's singles, doubles.
And they're going off the PPA rankings.
You automatically get into the main draw. If you're outside the top 50, you can play qualies. If you're inside the top 50, you cannot play qualies.
But you have to be signed.
There's a caveat.
Yeah.
You have to be signed.
Yeah.
So what that does is if you are inside the top 50 of PPA rankings and you are unsigned,
you cannot play.
You cannot play.
Yeah.
It keeps you from playing PPAs altogether.
And it's a provisional contract that they're offering. What's it called? The TPCC?
TTP, whatever. It's a provisional contract. You have to sign that contract. We don't know what the terms of that contract look like, but my guess is it's just
enter your social security number, credit card, and home address.
I mean, my guess is it's a very, very standard PPA deal that's like, okay, you get prize money, get this. I don't know if there's any exclusivity to it. I would guess there probably is. And yeah, this is, I mean, look, let's call it what it is. Let's not beat around the bush. This is a power play by PPA. And they're forcing these players to either sign with them or not play.
How do you think this will play for them?
So, like someone like Glozman.
Glozman, will she continue playing PPAs then?
Well, she can't.
Well, she can if she signs.
Yes, she would have to sign.
Yeah.
Which she'd have to take a pay cut. So I think in Glozman's case, if she wants to be relevant, she would have to continue to play PPAs. Otherwise, she's going to play her 6 MLPs and then do a bunch of clinics and MLP days, and that's it. So yeah, maybe this.
She can still do APPs though, right?
No, because she's signed exclusively with MLP. That's what I'm saying. I think this new deal has exclusivity where you can't even do, like, it keeps you from doing APPs.
I thought the original, a year ago, contracts with MLP, they were allowed to do APPs.
There are some players that had APP carve-outs.
Gotcha.
All of those players are gone. They're all at APP or they took buyouts.
Gotcha.
So there's nobody right now that I know of.
Are there even 50 women that play tournaments?
No.
Like, you have to be very new to be outside the top 50.
Yeah, it'd be very hard to not be inside the top 50 on the female side, which means that if you're good as a female,
you'll be in the top 30 or 40 easily.
Yeah, you bet you have to sign a PPA deal.
Yeah.
And that's going to keep people from bouncing back and forth. So back to your question about the future of the APP, because of this rule, I think there's always going to be a place for the APP. Because there's always going to be people that are okay playing that. The APP prize money is not bad.
It's not. They used to do appearance fees or whatever, but now they don't. It's just straight up prize money.
It is, but you get like 2 or 3x if you play half the events, and then you get 4x if you play all of them. It's only like 12 events. And so imagine, say, Jilly B she won mixed, then she won women's. So say she makes $5,000, right? $5,000 or $6,000
each. Yeah. So that's probably $10,000.
Yeah, $10,000. If she plays 12 events and she averages, she's not going to make that every time, right? She's going to lose. But say she plays 12 events and she makes $120 or say $100,000. She can like 2 or 3x that by making sure she plays all the events. Yeah. Ends up making, $250,000, $300,000. Yeah. That's not a bad year for her.
That's not, but we're taking the top end of it.
Yeah. So top end for sure. Yeah. These top, the thing with APP might have even less parity than PPA. Yeah. It's Jilly, it's Megan Fudge, it's going to be Will House, Jack Monroe, Eric Lang, Purple Jesus, and then you'll see like that third female, can be, sometimes it's Amanda Hendry, sometimes it's Kelsey Grambeau, sometimes, But for the most part, it's Yana's right there. It's kind of the
Question
same
for
10
you.
players.
Do you think those players exclusively playing APPs is hindering their growth as a player?
Well, yeah, you're not playing against the best competition, right? Now, look, I think it is, but we also have seen these players come over to PPA at times, and have they had success? Not really, right? I mean, we've seen them do okay in MLP. Eric Lang won MLP with Ben. Megan Fudge in Chicago, obviously in Challenger.
That was Challenger, yeah.
But Jill was an MLP MVP. It was actually in her Instagram profile for a while.
Challenger. Yeah.
But have we seen who's an APP player?
So J-Dub and Dylan were the last true
two, right?
APP,
And Jackie and Jade played APPs for a while.
Yeah.
J-Dub and Dylan.
I guess Kate Fahey, but
yeah, but Kate was still like but look what happened with Kate.
Yeah.
She came over and it
exactly
accelerated her.
Yeah.
So like, do you think that Jill could come over and have success in PPA? I mean, we've seen her play PPAs, and it's not like, she's a first or second round exit.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, I'm just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But then she goes and wins. Now, do Jill and Megan Fudge, because she did play with her sister, if Jill and Megan Fudge came.
They still lose to Tina and Kate, though.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what I'm saying. So do they win their first round? Probably, and then they probably lose.
Yeah.
Eric and Purple Jesus, probably same thing, right? They could win a game.
Yeah.
Or two.
Yeah.
Will and Jackman Rowe. Like Jackman Rowe came to PPAs for a while last year.
Yeah, somebody actually looked it up because I was having a discussion with somebody in the Discord, and they're like, no, he only played like 2 or 3 PPAs last year, but he actually ended up playing like 6 to 7 PPAs last year.
And I think he had one run with Julian maybe that was okay.
He had a couple but
quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was never like not like he's winning APPs. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think Jack's young enough. I think Will's young enough that I would love to see him come over full time.
Do you like Ken?
He's fine.
Are you jealous of his hair?
I don't know him personally.
Of his teeth?
Honestly, I probably don't have the money Ken Herman does to buy the hairpiece. Also, how do you feel about like the grand opening of the fort? And it's not done. 1, it's not done. 2, then it gets rained out and they have to move to Diadem.
Dude, that's why you got to do indoor events.
Yeah.
Indoor events, I'm telling you.
It's like their big reveal and there's like construction going on and then they have to move indoor.
Not only with them, but I feel like so many things in pickleball are rushed because it's moving so fast.
Yeah.
The landscape is changing so quickly that if you're not innovating, if you're not coming out with stuff daily, weekly, then you're getting left behind.
Dude, everything in pickleball is first to market.
Yeah.
It is. And that's and the problem is it I think that sometimes the quality suffers.
Yeah.
Because everybody's in a rush.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that with balls sometimes, right? People are rushing paddles.
Yep.
And yeah, so
all right. Well, that was fun. APP, they don't have nearly as many tournaments as PPA. I don't know when their next one is.
yeah.
But yeah, they'll have 12 to 15 tournaments.
But look, at the end of the day, it's still pro pickleball, and for the junkies out there, tune in and check it out.
Awesome. Real quick, we got to give a big shout out to our next sponsor, which is C&D Pickleball Nets. I actually think, do they sponsor the
official net of the APP?
Yeah, they're the official net of the APP.
Yeah, they were actually there this weekend.
Yeah.
At the APP event, setting up their nets.
Yep.
Elise Jones just put a court in her backyard.
Yep.
Indoor court.
Indoor.
You went and played at it.
I did.
And what type of net did Elise get?
C&D.
Because Elise knows.
Yeah. She did not get the ones with the wheels, just the feet, the flat-based.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it's awesome. And the amazing thing with these nets is they're not permanent. You're not drilling into the concrete. And so you can literally, if you need to, pick it up, move it, transport it, whatever you want.
Yeah.
So.
There's not a better net out there. Check them out. Thebestpickleballnets.com.
And they also have that more economical one that is a lot more economical and it's still very high quality.
Yeah. It's a lower price. It's like half the price, actually.
Yeah. And if you use our code KOTC, saving even more.
You know Jenny Bay?
I do know Jenny Bay.
Jenny Bay's opening a facility. 18 courts.
Yeah.
Something like that. DTL down the line. Mm-hmm. And she needed some nets. And you know where I sent her?
C&D, baby.
100% C&D. Now, we'll see what happens with that. we'll see how smart Jenny Bay is.
Yeah.
But you want the best facility, you got to have the best nets.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for your support, C&D. Go check them out at bestpickleballnets.com and use code KOTC for the best savings possible.
Yeah.
Thank you for the sports. All right, moving on. So this week, today, there's some meetings for MLP.
Yeah.
With the owners.
So tonight is the owner's dinner. Tomorrow
Where are they going? McDonald's, Chick-fil-A?
I'm sure. I mean, it depends on if that bridge loan funded.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, are a bunch of meetings, media day, things like that. So it's their
Media day for the owners?
For MLP Media Day, where Samin will talk to the media.
Do they have their jets there and all their G-Wagons and they're all flexing?
Everybody's flexing. It's at the
Pardo will have his van out there.
his big shaggin' wagon. It's at the PPA headquarters in Dallas.
Okay.
Big thing with these meetings is we don't know really a lot of things about next year. We don't know like rules. Mm-hmm. We don't know. There's rumors out there that are flying like crazy right now that Premier's moving to 6 players.
Yes, I've heard that from a couple sources.
Yeah. We don't know. Can you pick up a player that you drop? What are you going to pay for these players? What's going to happen? I mean, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered for the new year. Mm-hmm. Nobody know. We have a schedule, but we don't know who's playing what events. Mm-hmm. All of those things will be talked about at MLP meetings. It's going to be a busy couple of days. Mm-hmm. The other big thing is trade window opens, mm-hmm. and that's where it's going to get wild. Wednesday and Thursday mm-hmm. are going to be wild.
Of this week.
Trade window opens.
Gotcha.
So, if you're going to drop a player, mm-hmm. are you going to drop him for nothing, or are you going to shop around that player mm-hmm. to try and get some value for him?
Wait, you said it opens Wednesday?
Yeah.
Is it just Wednesday and Thursday, or how long?
Oh no, it's open for.
Okay.
But everybody's going to do it right away.
Okay.
Because that's just the way these things work, and so.
Yeah, what's the strategy behind it? Is there any strategy to waiting till the end or doing it first?
No, I think you want to do it first because you want to get your guy, right? Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you right now, my phone's already been ringing off the hook for 2 days.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it's going to be like Wednesday and Thursday. But
I can because you'll be at the PGA show in Orlando.
I'll be on my phone in the car in the hotel. So what's going to happen is, everybody's going to start jockeying for those spots, right?
Yeah. So remind us the rules. Each team has to drop at least one player.
At least one.
Can they drop more than one?
You can drop more than one. You can drop your whole roster if you want. Uh-huh. Have to drop at least one. You have to pay 50% of what their value was the previous year. Yeah. So if a player was $150,000.
The owners pay that to the league.
And that goes towards the owners have a $10 million league fee mm-hmm. combined. That's due every year, mm-hmm. and that money goes towards that league fee.
A $10 million?
$10 million, yeah.
Wow.
So that money goes towards that league fee.
Yeah.
So, so you could spend a lot more if you want. I mean, like look at DC. Does DC keep Ignatowicz? Do they keep Deckel? Do they keep Rachel? Do they keep Gloz? Gloz is $0 mm-hmm. to keep because she was a challenger player. Mm-hmm. They paid $100,000 for her to get her from the Breakers, mm-hmm. but she's $0. Mm-hmm. So you imagine like a team like DC keeps Klausman, keeps Rachel, mm-hmm. top 5. And then I think Deckel is outplaying James. Mm-hmm. So you keep Deckel. James was your first round pick. He's going to cost you $300,000 a keep or whatever it is. You drop James, mm-hmm. try to get somebody else. If not, you hope you can get James for less. Mm-hmm. And it just becomes, this frenzy. There's going to be, whoever has the deepest pockets. Some teams are going to try and cut.
Is there a limit to the teams?
No salary cap that we know of. That's something we don't know yet. But
do you think there should be?
I think there should be, but I don't think there will be mm-hmm. because this is essentially a fundraiser for the league, and so there's not going to be a cap.
Can we use code KOTC with this?
Yeah. Teams, if you want to pick up a player, use code KOTC, and so it's going to get wild. And like I said, it already is. I mean, there's already a million trades being talked about right now. There's already players being floated. Or like if you're going to drop a player, okay? Mm-hmm. So say you still had, obviously, say Jeannie was eligible to stay on your team, mm-hmm. which she's not, and you're going to drop her anyways, you might as well shop her to another team mm-hmm. and see if you can get some money or cash or something for her before
just dropping her.
Rather than just dropping her.
Yeah, but if you trade her, then you're taking on somebody else.
You are, but then you just drop that player.
Gotcha.
When that player knows that they're just getting dropped. I mean,
But once a bear, always a bear. Mo.
Yeah, Mo knew he was getting dropped, and I don't know if
But he was still on your team.
I don't know if we made a mistake considering he was never picked back up by anybody else. Right?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Is he better lefty than you?
Probably. For sure.
Who has worse line calls?
At this stage, I'm clean. I'm good. I've been good for the past 3 years.
Who is is that the biggest rivalry, AJ and Mo?
Right now?
Or both the Alhunis?
I don't know.
I feel like they're probably nice guys.
I like them. They're nice.
But I feel like I don't know. Is it the competitiveness that takes
Hey, you say it. They leave it on the court and off the court.
Well, they didn't leave it on the court. They jumped the fence and came after.
It was still on the court, though.
Yeah, that's true. But it was after the match, and homeboy was jumping a fence like he'd been doing it his whole life. It was wild. Literally took one step. I mean, I guess
he's a nice guy.
I guess dude is like 6'5", but he literally took one step over that fence.
He's a nice guy.
I never had any issue with him. Like, he came to a combine. No, I didn't until he sent me a very mean message.
Yeah.
After I was complimenting him, but he came to a combine we did.
Where are they from again?
I don't know. Libya. It's close to Egypt.
It's Liberia.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
If you say Liberia, bro, you will get
It's Liberia.
shot.
Calm down.
So, anyways, he came to a combine we did, and he was super nice, and he was really good.
Okay, so what else is going on in these MLP meetings?
So we're talking about that. Talk about any rules. Are we gonna go back to 21 rally scoring? Keep it at 25.
That I did hear. I wouldn't be surprised,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I kind of like the 25. It solidifies it a little bit more. There's a little bit.
If they go to 6, what's the strategy there? Do you draft 2 play? Like, what's the substitution?
Well, once again, can you substitute those guys mid-match?
That's the thing. We don't know. And if you can't,
I think they do need to go to 6 players, though. I don't think teams should be able to pull from a pool and use the same player multiple times.
You can't use
Scarpa Anderson. He played for every single team last year.
Yeah, or like
Jaume. He was on a challenger team and he got pulled up for multiple.
Everybody tried to get Jaume.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you go with 6, and if players can't make it or they can't, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
You guys got to get merch figured out as well. Merch is atrocious.
Yeah.
They've got to have something uniform across all teams where spectators can go buy the shirts, clothes, whatever.
Jerseys, yeah. I mean, we created some merch. It was pretty sick.
Did you have an online store for it?
We have an online store. The problem is we never put it in Pickleball Central because, I'll be straight up, probably get me in trouble. But the cost to put it in Pickleball Central was absolutely ridiculous. And it made 0 cents.
Did you use code KOTC 0125?
We should have.
Or was it the expiration?
And it made 0 cents for us to print all this merch, ship it across the country to these events, have Pickleball Central sell it, ship it back to us, and we made 13 cents on each individual item.
That's what by the way, we still have a few KOTC shirts. They're discounted, so
yeah,
go buy them. I'm sick of having them here at my house. It was just
stupid. So hopefully they fix that too. A lot of things that need to be fixed.
Okay.
But we have a season. It's going to run April through August. So yeah, it's good.
Okay. Anything else with MLP?
No, not that I can think of.
There were 2 teams that PPA or UPA bought.
Yeah.
Do we know anything about those teams?
I think that they're still
holding on to them.
They still have not been sold, those teams yet. Milwaukee Mashers
and ATX.
Remember the Mashers was Callie,
DJ,
Lucy, and Matt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were like bad.
Yeah, the worst. Well, I mean, you got to throw Utah in there, but I actually think Pandas were worse.
Pandas, yeah,
were worse than Utah Diamonds, right?
That's right. Yeah, when Zane was on the Pandas.
Yeah.
ATX at one time had Anna Bright, Jackie.
That was a
couple years ago, right?
Yeah,
that wasn't a bad team.
That was when PPA couldn't play.
Yeah, that's when PPA couldn't play, and that was when Richie traded Jackie for Maggie Brasha.
Yeah. But when I was with the Pioneers, we played ATX and they had Gabe and JW
Oh,
and the Kalmonos.
yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All
Nice.
right. Moving on. Big shout out to our next sponsor, which is Vulcan Pickleball. We love Vulcan Pickleball. They make the official ball of the PPA Tour and also
Major League Pickleball.
MLP. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to use the ball that the pros are using, go check them out at Vulcan Sporting Goods, vulcansportinggoods.com, and use code KOTC for the best price possible. This ball is great. As Jimmy said, their Gen 1 ball wasn't as well received, but this Gen 2 ball,
Incredible.
no issues.
I love that ball.
Yeah.
Hunter Johnson, Zane, a lot of players have said this is Andrew Coop, I think, said this is the best ball we've ever had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's a good ball. Yeah. So go check it out. This
And here's the thing is if you're going to play PPA events and you're going to play, other MLP events or, you want to get used to a specific ball.
yeah.
So all of you, future pros out there, because everybody wants to go pro at pickleball. By the way, I had a guy approach me just randomly, and he was like, "Hey, do you do that podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, my son watches you."
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh,
kind of
thanks."
awkward.
And then he told me that he was 14, and he's like a 5'0", 5'5".
Keeps getting worse. Yeah.
5'0", 5'5". He never told me the kid's name, but Utah, lives here, and said that he's, wants to be an aspiring pro. So whoever that kid is, whose dad approached me, good luck, crush it.
Yeah.
But 14 years old, dude.
The craziest story I had is I was at Costco, and this guy, he's all like, "You're Tyler Lung, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he literally shows me his phone, and he was listening to our pod at the grocery store.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Just totally random.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, go check them out. Thank you, Vulcan, for your support. As I said, this is the official ball of PPA and also MLP. If you want to use the balls that the pros use, go check them out. vulcansportinggoods.com. Use code KOTC. It supports us and gets you the best price possible. Okay.
Yes.
Anything else, Jimmy?
No. Yeah.
So there's the trade show this week that both of us will be at. Jimmy's trying to make a bunch of excuses to not go, but he actually has a flight there and returning. So we'll see if he
it's
actually.
a very busy week, so we will see what happens.
So we'll see if he actually shows up.
We have a pretty incredible. This is probably the busiest week, like off-season week, in a while.
I feel like you're just making a lot of excuses.
No, this is Tour Wars 2.0 is coming.
Tour Wars?
No, just kidding. But it is busy. MLP meetings?
But yeah, so we will be at the PGA Trade Show. Somehow pickleball kind of got thrown in there, mixed in there. Tennis is there also. And so pickleball kind of piggybacked off them. And I went to it for the first time maybe 5 years ago or something like that. And it's just grown ever since.
But it's not like open to the public. It's like vendors.
It's more for vendors. B2B.
Yeah, B2B stuff, right?
Yeah. But a lot of people are there. Last year, there were a ton of players. Tyson was there. I think the Johns brothers were out there. A lot of the Florida people were out there. And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of the major brands will be out there. Selkirk, Vulcan, Franklin. So hopefully we both will be there and we'll be able to grab some content. All right, we'll move on into questions. Jimmy, tell us about Holey, our next sponsor.
Yeah, so I'll just say right now, the Holey Tropical Fruit Punch post game is as good as anything I've ever had. Tastes like Kool-Aid, honestly.
We all love Kool-Aid.
Go check out Holey. Look, it's cold. You might not think that you're getting dehydrated. You might not think that you need electrolytes, but you definitely do. We have the pregame, we have the in-game, we have the post-game, and we have your greens. Holey Performance. There's nothing better for when you're working out, playing pickleball, all the things. I think Holey sent me, this is not a joke, I think they probably sent me 15 bags, and I've gone through all of it.
Calm down, Jimmy.
Love Holey. Honestly, it's like a treat.
Yeah. Go check them out at holeyperformance.com. Use code KOTC. As Jimmy said, a lot of times our bodies might not even know that we are running low on certain vitamins and ingredients and all that nutritional stuff. But Holey will have it for you, so make sure you're taking it, especially while you're playing and even throughout the day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Question time. You ready?
Yeah.
So last time we had an issue with a question, so hopefully this time we don't as much. All right. This one is kind of ironic, but somebody said, "Why so much hate for the Alhoonies? They are really great guys."
I'm sure they are. There's no hate.
There's a lot of hate coming from you, Jimmy.
No, okay. I've explained this rule before. This what happened before, but I'll just tell you guys what happened. So I complimented the Las Vegas Night Owls after Caitlin Kerr got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I said that I really thought it was cool that their team came together. I thought it was cool that they bonded together. And I said I even thought it was like a show of support when they were even talking about boycotting an event because, they were upset with her getting fired. So I get this message, and Caitlin Kerr had told me, by the way, and she reiterated this on our pod, that they said that they boycotted. They were thinking about it. So I get this message from Mo going off on me, and literally the very first line is like, "You fat piece of shit," blah, 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 going off, saying that we were never going to boycott, like you spreading lie. And he just went off. And I was like, dude, what do you, and I literally responded, I said, "Do you know what boycott means?" Like I was complimenting you guys. And so I sent him the dictionary definition of boycott. And I said, "I think that you honestly don't know what that means," because I was being complimentary of you and how you guys were handling this. And then he never, of course, responded back.
And then you had to draft him to your team.
Well, then we traded for him and then we cut him. But my point is like anybody that's going to fly off the handle like that, like immediately, like that's the first thing that you send. And then Judith Castillo reached out to me and she's like, "Yeah, Mo's pissed because you said this." And I was like, "Did you listen?" Like literally it was a compliment for you guys. And Caitlin Kerr said that she listened and was like in tears because it was so nice. So again, maybe there's just a misunderstanding, but when you fly off the handle like that, like that's your first instinct and your first reaction. You're not my guy. Like you're not my type of person, and you might be a nice guy, but nice guys don't do shit like that. Nice guys don't act like that. Nice guys don't jump fences and try to fight people. So again, that's kind of where that came from. And
hey, if you're sticking up for your brother who was
good for him. I mean, that's great. But again,
inappropriately.
Again, my point is he might be nice to some people, but I don't see him as a nice guy, and it is what it is. And I don't have to be friends with everybody.
I like Mo.
I'm sure.
I don't know Moto well.
And you don't have any problems with him, and that's fine. I don't expect you to fight my battles.
All right, moving on. Why do they interview the losing player or team after a gold medal match? It seems cruel.
I think that they're trying to be like other sports, like sometimes. But the thing with other sports is, first of all, when they interview the losing team, it's usually later after they've been in the locker room, after they've kind of calmed down. Maybe they'll interview the losing coach outside the locker room. But to interview a losing player immediately after is kind of wild. And that's tough, I think, for those players.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that they probably...
Don't they do this in tennis for the Grand Slams? They'll interview both players?
In tennis, yes. Yeah. But I thought we weren't trying to be tennis.
Who knows what we're trying to be?
Yeah.
Who knows?
We're not, I mean, so it's a tough... I think what they're trying to do is trying to make it seem like runner-up is still an impressive accomplishment. And that, like in, Wimbledon, right? Runner-up still gets a trophy, don't they?
Yeah.
So I think that they're trying to show that that's still an impressive accomplishment.
Okay, somebody said, is the new batch of juniors going to displace most of the current top 20 pros in the next 5 years?
I mean, we've heard this forever, right? We've heard it forever.
So next 5 years is quite a while. I think you could say that with almost anybody. I think the top 20 will probably be different in the next 5 years.
Yeah, and there's going to be players that are going to come and they're going to be really good, right?
However, like you said, people have been saying this literally since I have been playing pickleball, which is 10 years ago.
Well, before it was the D1 tennis players were going to come and just dominate. And now all the D1 tennis players are coming in.
Well, yeah, it was pros, then D1.
It was pros, then it's D1, and then it's and now it's these juniors. And are these juniors, are there going to be players up and coming that are going to be really, really good? Yeah, of course. There already is. I mean,
they already are.
Yeah, there's players. I mean, Rex Ty is really good. There's Elsie Hendershot's going to be, I think she's going to be really, really good.
Yeah. I've worked with her a little bit. She's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's
the biggest thing that I see
Jack,
with her,
Jack Pickleball, our guy, dude. He's been playing since he was what?
Yeah.
5?
Yeah. The biggest thing that I see with a lot of these juniors is they need more experience.
Yeah.
They need more foundation. They pull these crazy shots, and they'll make them 1 out of every 4 or 5 times, but they're not consistent enough with those.
Yeah. And the other thing is it's just like every sport, right? Like there's kids right now that are really, really good 10, 11, 12-year-old basketball players, baseball players. Are those players going to be professionals? Probably not.
Yeah.
Right? And when these kids get to high school and when they hit puberty and, maybe it's just, there's other things that happen. Like you're 12 years old and maybe you've hit puberty and you're taller and bigger and stronger than everybody in your age group. And then everybody catches up.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of factors, but is there talent in the juniors? 100%. I mean, there's insane talent and they have a massive advantage growing up playing pickleball.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. All right, somebody's getting personal. They say, what was your first impression of each other when you first met?
I don't remember when we first met.
You don't remember?
Was it Summer 11?
That's when we first talked.
Yeah.
You knew who I was before then, obviously.
Wow.
Obviously.
Wow, this guy.
I saw you all the time wearing those freaking backwards hat and your J's walking around.
Yeah, I knew who you were. I just don't think we had ever talked, but like we knew who each other
Summer
was.
loving on those bleachers.
But yeah, Summer loving.
We were sitting next to a guy that was making a ton of racist jokes. It was pretty crazy.
He was, huh?
Yes.
And like inappropriate comments about the girls.
I don't remember the girls, but I remember the racist ones.
Yeah, I don't even know who it was.
Yeah, you do.
Who? Oh, don't say it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it.
Yeah, so Tyler and I sat, we knew each other, and then Tyler hosted a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Summer Lovin'. It's 2021?
2020. It was
2020.
Yeah.
And we ended up just sitting by each other during a match, and
it was like towards the end of the day when it was
late,
winding
it was
down.
night,
Yeah.
And then we
I think it was Megan was playing. Megan Dazan.
Yeah, Megan Dazan. It was her first tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, Megan Dazan was playing her very, very first tournament she ever played.
Yeah.
And she was playing Susanna Barr and Kelly Berg, actually.
Yeah.
It's just a tough matchup in your very first tournament. Anyways, we just ended up talking and hit it off. My first impression was I really liked him. Like I thought he's a cool dude, and we became friends right after that. And now I know exactly who you're talking about because there was a bet. There was a bet that you couldn't hit a scoreboard with a paddle. Yeah. So there was tennis courts, and then there was like a gap,
the football field,
and then grass, and then a scoreboard on the football field.
Yeah.
And somebody bet you $20 that you couldn't throw a paddle probably 150 yards.
Yeah.
And Tyler freaking wound up and fired a brand new Vulcan paddle still in the wrapping.
Yeah.
And hit the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Jeff Warnick style.
Will Gabe and Ben actually train together as Gabe lives in Florida and Ben in Austin?
Yeah, I'm sure that they will make time. I mean, this is your profession. It's a very.
I get that question asked a lot. Is like, do you train with your partner?
Yeah.
And I think it does help, but I think you'd also be very surprised at how many players don't train with their partners except for at tournaments.
Yeah.
And they're able to make it work for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, though, look, he has the benefit because he always trains with Colin, but I think that he'll be fine.
Okay. Can the wiffle ball, the pickleball, be replaced with a foam or other ball eventually?
Maybe. I mean, but then paddles will probably have to change a little bit. But do we want that?
Yeah. Do we want that? Good question.
Have you seen the 3D printed one?
You tired?
I guess. The 3D printed one?
I have, yeah. Looks pretty cool. I haven't hit with it.
It does look cool. I don't know.
Amongst PPA players, hypothetically, who would be most likely to commit insurance fraud?
Who owns an insurance company? I don't know. Dude, listen.
This is from the Discord.
Of course it is. This just like in all aspects of life, okay? There's good people and there's bad people. Mm-hmm. And there's nice guys and there's shady guys. And there's people that maybe mean well, but they make mistakes. And pickleball is no different. And there's a lot of really great people in pickleball, and there's a lot of people that I wouldn't trust with 50 cents. So, yeah.
When is Tyler going to upgrade his paddle? Hey, my new paddle is good. I like it. We are working.
So your new paddle got sent out to quite a few people during a Black Friday promo.
Uh-huh.
And
it's good.
a lot of people were like shocked.
Yeah.
Like we've had a lot
The
of
new one, the V1200, the one
Yeah.
I'm using is good.
There's been a
It's
lot
step
of
up.
comments about like
Yeah.
how
It's not Gen 3 Yola's power,
Well,
but
what is?
Yeah. It's getting there.
yeah.
All right, somebody said, didn't Anna Lee do the same thing to Jay that Ben did to Kwang Duong? She actually did, yeah.
Yeah, she did. But
Yep.
Jay also did it to try to do it to Scarpa.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant.
Try to do it
Anna
to,
Lee's not getting him.
I know. Well, maybe Anna Lee was trying
She's
to.
not getting him back because
she's
of that.
like, Scarpa's my guy. Scarpa USA. Bam. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that it hasn't happened before multiple times. I mean, Shelby Bates, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't. My issue with the whole thing, because Colin came out and was like,
Pegging.
he likes to get pegged or whatever. He said that pegging is. He says that pegging is normal in pickleball, and yes, a body shot is the right play a lot of the times, right? Mm-hmm. It's actually a smart play. It's the right play. But the issue that I had with it was Ben said after the match that he was upset about Kwang hitting a couple balls to his body. He used that direct quote, body. And so he was just sending a little warning shot, and he laughed about it, right? Mm-hmm. But then Colin said, body shots are okay. It's when you go for the head that it's not. Mm-hmm. Well, Kwang, according to Ben, Kwang wasn't going for the head. Kwang was going for the body. So it's like, which is it? Like, brothers, get your story straight, or...
I think that's a very small detail, and I think in the end, you shouldn't go for the face at all.
For sure. Well, that's my point, is it was like Colin was justifying it, but Ben was saying... Basically, everything that Colin was saying wasn't okay. Ben was saying is fine.
Even, I mean, body
or
shots.
vice versa, I mean.
Body shots, they are fine, but I don't know. I don't like people openly saying, go for the body, go for the body, go for the body.
Yeah. But Ben was frustrated because Kwang was going for the body a lot.
Do you agree with James Ignatowicz's post on the pancake shape paddle being ideal for doubles?
I mean, it's got a little more surface area, bigger sweet spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, James hasn't been winning lately, so I'm not sure if I agree with anything he says. You can agree with anything James says right now?
I like James.
I like James too. I'm just saying that James Ignatowicz is probably not the best point of reference on the best paddle to use in doubles based off of his recent results.
Somebody in the Discord was...
I'll ask Jericho what the best paddle is.
was saying how good of a coach James is, because he's coached a lot of his friends that are now playing at the pro level.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure he is, but on the flip side, all of those guys have a really freaking good head start since they were all super high level tennis players. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's taking some random dude off the street. He's taking, all SEC player from Vanderbilt and, former Notre Dame tennis players and Cal, All
right, we'll do a couple more. Who would you predict to be the first Nike athlete in pickleball?
So I was talking to someone the other day about.
I mean, I'm open, so
yeah. I mean,
I'm diverse. I'm ambiguous.
I mean, I don't think that Ben Johns is the guy. He's not. He just doesn't give me like Nike vibes. I think it would probably be like Tyra, truthfully, in terms of like.
Would they go for somebody who checks all their box, who's diverse and everything like that, or would they go for the top?
Well, I think Nike wants to go for both.
Yes, but what if there's not both? Minus Tyra, who would you go for? On the men's side.
On the men's side, I mean, you would probably they probably want to go Annalie and Ben.
But you just said you don't think Ben.
I just don't think he fits that brand.
Yeah, but you think they would go with him?
Yeah.
Rather than going with like a.
Who, Alshon?
No, not Alshon. Like a Xiaomi.
Xiaomi,
or something like that.
I mean, Xiaomi and Tyra would be like. Here's the thing. I told someone this the other day. If Nike got into pickleball, they could literally create any type of paddle and throw a swoosh on it, and it would sell out. Not maybe by like hardcore tournament players, but it would sell out by all the amateurs and like everybody around.
Well, they just need to do a pickleball line of clothing. They started doing like pickleball stuff on their t-shirts, but they need to curate it a little bit more.
Yeah, and then they have the shoes that are basically just tennis shoes.
Yeah, they are tennis shoes.
Yeah, and then they
just put pickleball
on it. But yeah, I think if Nike came out and they went all in on pickleball, it would be massive.
Somebody said, thoughts on CJ being all for pegging?
I mean, according to Sydney Steinecker, she's not surprised. It's the truth.
All right, we had a couple more that were sent as a DM. Let's see if I can find them. Somebody said, what's the advantage of not being a gold card member? Glozman and Castillo, obvious disadvantage is playing qualies and not making some money. Are there some money others are making? So we discussed this earlier on.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage is that they didn't take a pay cut like everybody else did. So they're getting paid more than all these other players. But, again, they can't play PPAs anymore moving forward, or they have to play qualies.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big
disadvantage.
Right? All right, let's see if I can find any more.
But, yeah, Judith played APP, so maybe she's at the point where she's just going to play APPs and MLPs, but I don't know what those contracts say.
Okay, somebody typed in a long question. Old school pickleball, everyone knew driving was bad and only worked at a low level because your opponents couldn't volley. You had to learn cat and mouse. Now, the paddles are so hot, everyone is driving and winning. But in the long run, if everyone is driving all the time, everyone is going to get practice volley shots more often. So in time, won't it always go back to cat and mouse? And if you can't slow it down, you can't play high level.
Yeah, I think you have to play both, right? I think that people are, but we still see players consistently miss volleys into the net off of drives. Mm-hmm. We still see that. And the thing with the drive is it's not about the power of the drive. It's about the placement. It's about catching someone in the transition zone, right?
Yeah.
Catching them coming forward, catching them, driving to their backhand, things like that. And that's where you'll always be able to catch players. But yes, it's still going to, the soft game is never going away in pickleball. Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty about pickleball. Well, the kitchen line. The kitchen line is what separates pickleball from racquetball, from squash, from tennis, from everything else. That kitchen line.
For sure. And that's never going to go away. And you're always going to have to be good because, look, there's always going to be somebody that can just hit an insane drop that's not attackable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they're going to get to the kitchen and they're going to make you play that slow game.
Yep.
And that's
the beauty of pickleball. It's honestly like chess. Yeah. Like you're just moving the pieces around and you're almost baiting them to speed up. Honestly, a lot of times a lot of people might disagree with this, but sometimes I float a little bit of a high ball, and if they don't attack it perfectly, then they're in trouble.
Yeah. So. And people talk about, like, I've heard, the one thing I heard a lot, like in 2024, was a lot about bait balls from pros and how they will hit these bait balls on purpose and then they'll almost just sit on them. So
exactly. Yeah.
So,
all right, last question. Somebody said, you guys talked about a tournament where fans would pick matchups. Who would win between Riley and Annalie versus Ben and Simone? Or which team forfeits first before playing?
Oh, yeah, I like that. I think Riley and Annalie would win that. I think Ben's really good, and I think Simone.
I would take Ben and Simone.
Good. You would?
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun. That'd be fun to watch.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, Simone's still got it.
3 out of 5, 3-1, Ben and Simone.
Really? I think Simone's still got it, but I think that Annalie is too good.
Okay. Anything else, Jimmy?
No. Busy week. So next week we'll recap MLP meetings, hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe
if you guys aren't signed up for our newsletter, it's free $99 to sign up. Go sign up. We do a lot of the breaking news stories there. Also, if you're interested in our Discord, it's nonstop pickleball talk for the most part. Go join it. Yeah,
also,
it's free.
There's a lot of things happening kind of behind the scenes. And so we may need to do a emergency pod soon.
There's a couple of events that may or may not be breaking out.
Yeah, and if it happens,
it's going to change a lot of stuff.
It's going to change the landscape.
Okay. All right. Have a great week, and we will see you guys next time.